that bitch up. Speed it up so you can watch the whole thing through. That is the only way I can keep doing these videos. That's the only way I can keep doing this. That's the only way I can keep giving y'all the recaps, as if y'all actually engage with the video. A lot of y'all come in here, but a lot of y'all do not engage with the video. And because y'all are not engaging with that video, I'm getting strike. Now it's a point system. Now they're point systeming out. And if that does not work on my page, they're going to kick it out. They're going to totally ignore it. Good morning, Ann. That's the thing. Let me see. Do I need to? Yeah. So that's the kicker. It's now a point system. And if they don't like what I have to put out, if they're not liking it, they're going to definitely kick it out of the algorithm and they're going to give me a strike. And once I start getting too many damn strikes, I'm not doing these videos no more. I can't get hit like that. This right here replaces me having Instacart. Okay? If I ain't making no money by y'all actually looking at those videos, I'm going back to Instacart. Hell, I was losing weight doing that shit anyways. I was slim thick with my cute ass. I sure was. I don't ask for no money. I don't ask for y'all to pay for anything. Don't give me no gifts. But go look that video. Go recap. Go post. Comment 5 words. Do not put emojis. They don't like emojis. People are getting strikes for emojis now. People are getting strikes for emojis. Good morning, Elizabeth. Hello in YouTube land. Get me up to 10K and we can get started because we have to talk about this bill. Trump is at the Hill right now trying to get this bill pushed. And they did not mention that student loans was in this bill as well. Yeah. Our student loans is attached to this bill. I know you lying. They trying to sneak everything in this goddamn bill. Hi from the UK. Let me grab a tie for my hair and then get me to 10K and we can get this shit started. Hold on. I be losing all my ties. I'm coming up from the upside. I know my house looks a little colorful. Wait, what happened with student loans? Oh, now y'all interested. Please make sure y'all go to my video. I can't stress that enough. If you are just jumping in the live and you're not supporting the video is what keeps me being able to do this. If that video is not moving, I'm in trouble. The video is on my page. Y'all think I go live without posting something? All the information is actually in that video. It sure is, buddy. Don't want you to leave. I don't want to leave either. But shit, times is hard. All right, so we're going to talk about this big, beautiful bill. The Republicans are having issues right now. They are at odds. Republicans are not happy about this bill. Half of them do not want to increase the deficit to $5 trillion, which over the course of 4 years will increase to 20 trillion, I think 20 or 10 trillion. And then the other half is not happy about cutting Medicaid. Okay, a lot of people are not happy about Medicaid, even though Trump keeps stressing the fact that, oh, we're not touching Medicaid, we're not touching Social Security, we're not touching Medicare. No, it's still in there. It is still in there. It is still very prevalent that they are going to touch that. Like I said yesterday, Senator Johnson said that, yes, in order for us to get this, get Trump's big, beautiful bill done and passed and effectively the way he wants it so that the 1% can get their tax cut, they're going to have to touch Medicaid. That's the only way they're going to get that $1 trillion tax cut for the 1%. That's the only way. Okay? There is no way around that. Let me get to my thing so I can break down this bill for you. Now, you know what? I do love ChatGPT because they be doing some stuff. They be doing some stuff. So ChatGPT broke down this bill. They broke down that bill, and it made a lot of sense. So right now, as we're speaking, Trump's big, beautiful bill advances out of the committee, but conservatives demand more changes. They don't want those certain cuts to happen because they know once they run for office again, once midterms come, they're going to be kicked the fuck out. This is one of the main reasons why some of the Republicans do not want this bill to be cut and to go through with Medicare cuts, because they know their office, their jobs are on the line. Any Republican that approves cuts to Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security, you might as well retire. You might as well go ahead and retire, because that's one thing nobody, left, right, middle, far right, nobody wants that. Nobody wants anybody to touch that shit. I am looking for that thing. Senator Massey of Kentucky, he's a Republican. He says he's unmoved by Trump's big, beautiful bill. And Trump is saying that he's being a grandstander. President Trump called Representative Thomas Massey a grandstander during his visit to the Capitol on Tuesday morning to whip support for his big, beautiful bill, after previously calling other Republicans to wage primary challenges against the Kentucky Republican. So now he's trying to tell people to go against him during the primaries, during midterms, to take his seat, since he will not get behind the bill. Massey said he's unbothered, and he is still a no on the legislation House GOP leaders hope to pass later this week. They're doing these votes at like 1 a.m., y'all. They're doing these votes at 1 a.m. when the world is sleeping. When we are all in bed, they're doing these votes. They're trying to pass it where no one can hear it, and we just wake up and shit has changed. They're doing it while we are sleeping. And I think that says a lot more about them knowing that this bill is not good for us. Hey, knowing this, they know this bill's not good for us. They know that shit. But that's why they're doing it at such a late night. So ChatGPT broke this down, and if you want to go look at it for yourself, make sure go to newsweek.com. Newsweek.com has all this information. So when it comes to tax reforms, permanent extensions to the 2017 cuts. Remember, that's Trump's era. That's when Trump introduced those cuts to us, saying that if we gave the 1% tax cuts, if we do the 1% tax cuts, then it will trickle down to the everyday middle class person. That was bullshit. We got railroaded. It was a lie. That's the same thing he's trying to implement all over again. He's trying to save his people and himself. That's the same thing he's trying to do right now. So, permanent extension of 2017 tax cuts. This bill seeks to make the individual income tax reductions from 2017 tax cuts and the Jobs Act permanent. Permanent. No going back. No backsies. Permanent. Okay? Preventing a potential 22% tax hike for average taxpayers like me. Anybody making under $200 and something $1,000, yeah, 22% increase. Remember when I told y'all last week that this bill was saying if you make $15,000 or less, your income tax is going to increase by 17%? It's not a joke. 30% by 2030 or 2028. 70% by 2030. Who in the making $15,000 can handle a 70% increase in their taxes? I'll wait. These kids working part-time jobs, they ain't never gonna see none of that money. They gonna owe the state just for working. They gonna owe the state just for working. I ain't got that money, baby. I gotta work 2 jobs. And yes, I know I got a man, but he don't take care of me right now. Okay, I'll take care of myself. Okay. The new tax deductions introduces deduction for tips, overtime, car loan interest, and Social Security benefits for seniors earning under 75K. So if you earning under 75K and you are actually a waitress or a bartender and y'all work on tips, I wonder if it works for strippers too. Y'all think it worked for strippers too? Or is it just for waitresses? Because strippers work on tips. And they got to pay the house. You think it worked for them too? I'm just asking y'all. It came in my head. Okay, don't laugh at me. That is a thought. That is an actual thought. Okay? I'm just saying. You don't think so? Oh yeah, they trying to get rid of the strip clubs. My bad. That's the pornography bill. My bad. My bad. They won't even be here if they let that bill pass. My bad. The child tax credit enhancement. Remember, Kamala Harris wanted to give us $5,000 for a tax credit, and then you got more money for newborns, right? Y'all remember that tax credit cut? If you were pregnant, you get an extra $5,000, and then you get children tax cut. Well, Trump has halved that. The child tax credit enhancement will increase tax credit to $2,500 through 2028. What happens in 2028? Trump leaves office. And guess what he's doing? He's taking that tax credit with him because it's going to revert back to $2,000. So really, he's only giving you $500. He's giving you a $500 increase on your tax credit for children. $500 compared to the $5,000 we could have had under Kamala Harris. I ain't got no kids, but I know people with children, they could have benefited from $5,000 at the top of the year. They could have benefited from that $5,000 at the top of the year. That was Kamala Harris's plan. Trump's plan is just to increase the tax credit to $500. That's it. And then when he leaves office, it's going back to the $2,000. This is what y'all wanted. This is what America, this is what half of America wanted. This is what the 70-something million people that voted for him wanted. This is what they wanted. Now, the state and local tax SALT deduction cap, I'm going to put it like this. Republicans struggle in this area. A lot of Republicans struggle. A lot of Republican red states struggle with the state and local tax SALT deduction cap. They're going to raise the SALT deduction cap from $10,000 to $3,000. I mean to $30,000. Now I'm going to get a little bit more in depth into the SALT thing. I'm so hungry, y'all. Okay. So, there's 3 things to know about the SALT deduction, okay, for 2025. The state and local SALT deduction has been getting attention lately. That's partly because, and I'm telling y'all where I'm getting this information from so y'all can get it yourselves. This is from kiplinger.com, KIPLINGER. Since people say I don't reference my shit. The state and local tax deduction SALT has been getting attention lately. That's partly because President Trump is floating the surprise idea, supported by some Democrats, to bring SALT back. The SALT deduction has been a part of the U.S. tax code for over a century. The tax breaks allows eligible taxpayers, I want y'all to listen to this, eligible taxpayers to reduce their federal tax liability by deducting certain state and local taxes. Okay, there are certain states in this country that don't pay taxes. Like Florida doesn't have a state tax. Texas doesn't have a state tax. They don't have those taxes. However, major tax changes in recent years and ongoing political debate, including Trump's recent comments, have spotlighted this deduction again. Now, there are 3 things to take away. 1, what is a SALT deduction? Because I think y'all as taxpayers and me myself need to know what the fuck this is. I hear about it all the time, but like y'all, I tell y'all, I read so I can give it to y'all. So we're going to read this shit together. All right? What is a SALT deduction? The SALT deduction allows taxpayers who itemize to subtract certain state and local taxes from their federal tax income. Okay? These taxes include state property taxes, income taxes, and sales taxes. That means you can get that shit off your shit. Every day it is something new. There is something new, okay? Taxpayers have to itemize their deductions to be eligible for SALT deduction rather than taking a standard deduction. Okay, so the SALT deduction and other itemized deductions must exceed the standard deduction to be beneficial. Okay, for 2014 taxpayer, the standard deduction was $14,000 for a single filer and $29,000 for somebody in a married couple. For 2025, for a single, it has to be $15,000 and $30,000 for married couples. So that's when your deductions will start. Y'all, no gifts. Just go to my video. Thank you, Kim. Y'all stop wasting y'all money on me. I'm not a grifter. Let TikTok pay me. Go to my video, like, comment, and share. That's all y'all got to do. TikTok needs to pay me, not y'all. Keep telling y'all. Y'all have to do that, okay? Why does Trump want to SALT cap in the news? Why the Trump SALT cap is in the news? The candidate Trump made headlines during the presidential campaign with the social media posting calling to reinstate the SALT deduction. Vote for Trump. I will turn it around. Get SALT back. Lower your taxes. Now, he wants the SALT Act to come back to outshine the taxes we're going to have to pay. And I'm saying we because it's going to be everybody that makes under $100 and something thousand. This is his way of saying, oh, don't worry, I'm increasing your taxes, but you're going to be able to deduct a little bit. You're going to be able to deduct a little bit. I'm going to increase your taxes, but I'm going to give you a little bit off with the SALT tax. I'm going to give you a little bit off, okay? So the claim seemingly designed to appeal to voters in the Empire State was among a string of tax proposals in Trump's campaign and events, from no taxes on tips to ending taxes on Social Security to eliminating federal taxes for overtime pay. The SALT cap has particularly been unpopular in high tax states like New York, New Jersey, and California, so-called blue states that typically lean Democratic. Because we ain't getting them cuts. You make a certain amount of money, you're not getting those cuts. However, to get SALT back, claim is ironic since the deduction was capped at $10K due to TCJ. Now, I'm going to put it like this. Red states need the SALT cap. They need it because a lot of red states don't make money. They don't make money. So in order to keep money flowing through their business, flowing through their state, they have to get this SALT cap. But people in Democratic states, they make a lot of money. They don't benefit from the SALT cap. Actually, their money would be going to other states. That's why Democrats are not happy about that shit. That's why they don't want it to happen. They don't want to help red states. And I don't blame them. I'm sorry, I'm in a red state. I don't want y'all to help us. Let us suffer a little bit. Maybe, just maybe, we'll learn our lesson. Maybe, just maybe, we will learn our lesson. Now, MAGA also wants to do a saving account. I don't know how good this savings account is going to be, but he wants to do a savings account. So MAGA savings account establishes money accounts for growth and investment with a $1,000 federal contribution for children born between 2024 and 2028. Aimed to promoting long-term savings. So I'm guessing if you have a child between 2024 and 2028, you get $1,000 in savings. You get $1,000 added to your growth account. Honestly, I don't know what $1,000 is going to do. That don't even help cover paper. That don't cover you holding your child in the hospital. That don't cover you. That don't cover your one stay of giving birth. That don't cover none of that shit. There is a setting to turn off gifts, Nene. Okay, I'm going to do that. I got that next time. I just need to keep going because I got a lot of shit to do today. But yeah, $1,000 ain't gonna help none of y'all. Y'all see how he keeps throwing these little numbers out? The reason he's throwing out these little numbers is because he knows people in red states are not as educated, so they think any money is good money, and it's not. It's not good money. Any money is not good money. Y'all just got to learn what's going on the back end. Let's talk about healthcare and social programs. I'm still in the big, beautiful bill with y'all. I'm going to pass this and I'm going to go to the rest of the shit. Medicaid overhaul. This is what they're claiming they're doing in the big, beautiful bill. Implements work requirements for Medicaid recipients. Yes. Medicaid recipients will now have to work. If they are able to, they will have to work. And even if they're not able, they will have to work. Above the federal poverty line, you will have to work. You will also, if you're not eligible to work, you will have to do, what's it called? Damn it, Nene, your brain. Find it. You will have to volunteer work. You have to do volunteer work. You have to do at least 80 hours. And every 2 years, your Medicaid and stuff will be reevaluated. You will have to do volunteer and community service. Okay? It also increases copays and mandates more frequent eligibility verifications. I don't know how that's going to work. 80 hours. Yes, 80 hours. No, I think 80 hours a year or 80 hours a month or something. I think it's 80 hours a month. I don't think it's 80 hours a year. I think it's 80 hours a month or every couple of months. I don't know. I got to look into that. But I don't know. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. What if this person's in a wheelchair? What if they're above the poverty line, but they're not able to be mobily function? 80 hours a month is a goddamn job. That is a job. I work 40 hours a week. That is a job. You got to volunteer for 40 hours a week. You're basically paying to be on Medicaid. Something you did most of your life. That's deplorable. They're trying to make sure they get something out of you no matter what. In order to, and let me say this, Medicaid does help. But if you're on Medicaid and you're on Social Security and shit like that, you're not allowed to do certain things. You're not allowed to work. If you go out and work on Social Security, they're going to take your Social Security from you. Hi, Dimples. Like, the fuck? I used to work at a loan office. I know how much people get on Social Security. It ain't that goddamn much. I've seen some people's Social Security. That shit is horrible. And now you want me to go out and work, which is going to cost me more lights, food, transportation, gas, clothes. That all is going to add up to me going outside and doing work and community service. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Restrictions on services. Prohibits Medicaid funding for children's gender-affirming care and nonprofits providing abortion services. So Planned Parenthood would be completely. Planned Parenthood would be bye-bye completely. No more Planned Parenthood. And I want to stress this to people who are MAGA lovers in here and Republicans. Planned Parenthood does more than just that. And I'm going to say this again. Abortions cost. Abortions are not free. You have to pay for that. Women have to pay unless it's life-threatening. And in some states, that don't even matter anymore. You have to pay to get an abortion. You cannot get one for free. I think a lot of y'all don't understand that. The military provides Viagra for free. Viagra is a prescription for men. But you can't get an abortion for free. Do y'all see how jacked up that is? Y'all see how jacked up that is? They want men that can't get their soldier to stand up anymore to be able to still stand up, but won't allow a woman to have access to pay out of her pocket for an abortion. Now, I'm just going to say this. The reason Planned Parenthood is under attack is because y'all have more abortions than anybody else in the country. We and minorities can't really afford that all the time. Y'all are they want y'all to stop having them. They want y'all to stop getting messed up with these frat boys in college and just getting rid of their purity babies. They want y'all to stop getting rid of their purity babies. This is why everybody's under attack. Because of y'all. And y'all men that feel like the race is going out. So they got to find a way to stop it. Hey, I mean, it is what it is. They don't like to hear it because they think that all of these systems created, like welfare, SNAP, Section 8, everything is us. But if you look back in history, it was all created for y'all. All of these social access for health care and food and housing from the government assistance was created for y'all. It was when y'all husbands were away for war. It was during the Great Depression. It was not created for us. And we don't benefit from it more than y'all do. It was created for y'all. The only reason we even get food stamps and Section 8, and I'm gonna put the black men. I'm putting this on black men because at that time black women could not vote. Black men voted for us to get food stamps and government assistance. Black men voted for that. Y'all want to talk about the nuclear family? Well, y'all separated that hoe because in order for us to get government assistance, y'all would not be allowed in the house. So every time y'all want to blame a black woman for being on government assistance, Social Security, Section 8, food stamps, anytime y'all want to blame a black woman for being on that, please remember that y'all as black men voted for that when black women had no rights to vote. That was y'all decision. Your ancestors, your black men voted for that. I know y'all don't like to hear it, but we didn't even have voting rights when that shit was up for debate. We didn't even have the option to say no. That was all y'all. But at the end of the day, white women benefit from everything. Diversity, equity, inclusion, affirmative action, everything. Y'all are on the top of everything. Y'all have the top of everything. So this is why a lot of this shit is being put into play to stop y'all from doing things to y'all body that y'all men don't want to see y'all happen. I'm just saying. Okay. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me get a little bit of water. Talking just makes my mouth dry. Now, the healthcare and social programs impact on the coverage. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that the changes in the healthcare programs and social programs could result in 7.6 million fewer Americans being insured. So 7.6 million of y'all are going to lose y'all health insurance. And they're trying to gut the Affordable Care Act, which is Obamacare, if y'all don't know. That's Obamacare. They're trying to gut that as well. Okay? They're trying to get rid of Obamacare, which y'all like to coin Obamacare, but it's really the Affordable Care Act that a lot of y'all in rural areas need. That a lot of y'all who are business owners and who don't have, y'all work for yourselves, y'all get that insurance from there. Just being real. Now, when it comes to our student loans, baby, they want to increase the eligibility requirements for Pell grants. Back then, for a Pell grant, you had to have like a 3.2 GPA. When I was going to college, you had to have a 3.2 GPA in order to get a Pell grant. I want to see what they're increasing it to. Hold on one second. What will Trump's What will Trump's big beautiful bill increase Pell grants to? So, most Pell Grant recipients will get less money under Trump's GOP bill. And this is on MSNBC.com. Oh, MSN.com. Okay, I'm telling y'all where I'm getting this information from so y'all can go look for it for yourself. More than half of the Pell Grant recipients will be awarded less money to pay for college. In the House, Republicans succeed in changing eligibility through the ongoing budget reconciliation process. The nonpartisan means Democrats don't want this shit, Congressional Budget Office said that, nonpartisan means that it's both. Congressional Budget Office ain't got shit to do with Republican or Democrat, I'm sorry. Said in a report this week, as a part of the GOP's broader tax legislation, Republicans are calling for changes to higher education spending, to eke out savings, and to curb the federal role in education financing. The 103-page bill with provisions that could make borrowing for college more expensive. That means higher interest rates. That means higher interest rates on student loans. Fuck. Oh, Lord. And limit Pell Grants cleared the House Committee on Education and the Workforce in April. So it's already passed one place. Let's see. So chief among the provisions in the bill is a plan to increase the number of credits from 12 credits to 15 credits per semester, which means you got to work twice as much, which means if you have a damn job and you are working to go through school and that Pell Grant is helping you, you're going to have to add one more class to your shit. You're going to have to add one more class because that's another 3 credits. You're going to have to do way more. You're going to have to work twice as much. Required for students to receive the maximum Pell Grant. The change would result in more than half of the Pell recipients receiving small grants. According to CBO, about 10% of the recipients would completely lose access to Pell Grants if Republicans advance plans to deny eligibility to anyone taking fewer than 6 credit hours during the agency. A lot of people do take half a semesters so they can work and go to school. Some of them have children. Some of them have kids. They can't work all day. They can't go to school all day. No, they don't want y'all in school. They don't want anybody in school. The maximum Pell Grant was about $7,000. Nearly 7 million students rely on Pell Grants to pay for college. Roughly 93% of recipients come from families earning less than $60,000 a year, and 2/3 of them are from households earning less than $30K a year, according to the latest available data from the Education Department. Pell is a vital form of financial aid for students from lower income families, but the low graduation rate among recipients have invited criticism of the program. So there are two sides of the coin. I had Pell Grant when I went to college. I had Pell Grant. And the reason I had Pell Grant is because I qualified for that hoe. I made a 3.8 GPA. I did great on my SATs. And I was a freaking workaholic my freshman year. I was scared to do anything. The rest of that money came from student loans in my parents' pockets. That Pell Grant helped me. I don't think it's okay to pull that from lower income families. That's stressed. That's stressing me out. And that is damn sure stressing me out. And I know it's a lot of students that's getting ready to go to college in the fall. There are a lot of students getting ready to go to college in the fall that have qualified for the Pell Grant that may not get it. They're relying on that Pell Grant to help them take out less student loans and take some stress off their parents. Baby, a lot of students are about to be really disappointed. A lot of students are about to be really disappointed. So when it comes to student loans, this is me. I can be candid. I have $90,000 worth of student loans left to pay off, okay? $90,000. Sally Mae whooped my ass with them interest rates. Navi ain't got me with those interest rates, okay? I'm being real with y'all. So this affects me just as much as it affects anybody else. Can someone get Lionheart out of here? Someone get Lionheart out of here. I don't have time for the black comment. I know I'm black. I'm beautiful too. What else do you have? Thank you. Um, so, student loans changes. Ends federal directives, direct subsidized loans for undergraduate students, and eliminates the Department of Education's ability to regulate based on gainful employment. I want to break that down a little bit more, so I'm going to ask Google to break this down for me, because this is important for a lot of us grown ass people that work and that have student loans that we're trying to pay off. Excuse me. I don't want to know all this shit. Just get me to my question. What does Trump big beautiful bill have planned for student federal loans? Okay, this is from Investopedia. Proposed federal budget could affect student loan borrowers and what's to know. Republicans on the House Budget Committee have advanced the draft of the federal budget, and some provisions could completely change student loan repayment plans and financial aid. So not only does it affect us that are already out of school, it affects financial aid in general. Okay, so a recent proposal as part of the federal government budget would change the landscape of student loan borrowers and college students. They did this shit in the dead of night of Sunday. The House Budget Committee advanced a budget bill that will reduce federal spending to make room for President Trump's requested tax cuts. The House Education and Workforce Committee said its portion of the bill will save $330 billion by reforming programs like student loan repayment plans and Pell grants. Woo! $330 billion. So, the budget still has number of steps to go through. I just want to let y'all know that we are not at the end of the road. Okay, we're not in the Senate all the week. We're not there yet, okay? They still have to make adjustments to this bitch. And let's hopefully they don't just fix Medicaid, Social Security, and Medicare. Hopefully they fix this area too, because this shit can impact everybody. Okay, so how would it impact repayment plans? The bill proposes consolidating income-driven repayment plans. I'm on an income-driven repayment plan. I don't know how many y'all are on it, but I've been on that bitch since I graduated college, okay? Even though my income has increased, it has not increased a lot. So I need an income. I need that. That is vital for me not being broke and being able to pay my bills and just being able to buy a bottle every night to soak up my sorrows, okay? I'm just saying. All right. So the bill proposes consolidating income-driven repayment plans, including the income conjunct repayment plan, pay as you earn, and the saving for a valuable education repayment option. Borrowers who take out a new federal student loan after July 1st, 2026 can choose between a standard repayment plan or the new repayment assistance plan. Those are two plans for people going to college. Parents, please pay attention. If you got a child going to college, these are your two options. Okay? If you got a child going to college, your shit is $400 a month. Hell no. Double hell no. I mean, $400? That's a third of my rent. Actually, no, that's not a third of me. That's almost a fourth of my rent. Shit. All right. So, an analyst of advocacy group Student Borrower Protection Center estimated that this new proposed repayment plan would increase payments by $2,928 a year for a typical student loan borrower who enrolls in the SAVE plan, were it not blocked by courts. In addition, forgiveness under the new plan would be available in 30 years. So you would have to make payments into this plan for 30 years in order to get it expunged. In order to get it expunged, you would have to do that. It'll be 30 years and increase. It'll also increase from the current options. The proposed bill will also eliminate monthly payment deferment. Who on deferment right now? Raise your hand. If you on deferment right now, if your plan is on deferment, they trying to eliminate deferment, y'all. This bill will eliminate deferment. Oh, shit. Bitch, I'm gonna have to go jump on a pole, but I can't jump on a pole because they trying to end that shit too. Ha. Yeah. The proposed bill will also eliminate monthly payment deferment from economic hardship and unemployment. So even if you're unemployed, you will still be charged. And reduce the time a borrower can spend in a discretionary forbearance to 9 months from 12 months. So your forbearance payments will go from a year to 9 months now. Yes, the poll. Shit. That's everybody's option. I told my daddy that I should have went on the poll instead of going to college. Shit. My damn degree sitting in a fucking box in the back of my closet and it says made from China. If I could go back, y'all, and I still had the body I had in college, and I was a dancer too, man, I would redo this whole process. I would redo this whole process all over again. Yes, I'm talking about student loans, okay? So they want to get rid of deferment payments. They want to get rid of monthly deferments. They want to get rid of discretionary forbearance. That 12-month forbearance payment is gone. How will this impact federal student aid? While the budget provides more funding to sustain the Pell Grant program, it would also limit some students' access at the end, okay? So this includes increasing the full-time enrollment qualifications to 30 semester hours from 24 semester hours, which means it's going to be more pressure on those kids that get Pell Grant options. You have to work longer, less time to breathe. You may not be able to get a full part-time job. You may not be able to get work study because you have to take so many classes. Pell Grants for students enrolled less half-time. Unless they're on workforce, you won't be getting, if you're enrolled part-time, you will not be getting Pell Grant access. No Pell Grant access for people enrolled part-time. This bill will also eliminate new grad plus loans. So anybody want to go to grad school and you want to apply for a loan, that's going to go bye-bye as well. No grad plus loans. If you ain't got no grants or your parents ain't wealthy, I'm sorry. Don't look for a future. And increase restrictions for Parent Plus loans. God damn it, I had a Parent Plus loan too. So increase restrictions for Parent Plus loans. So if you're a parent and you want to take a Parent Plus loan out for your child, it's going to be harder for that too. It's going to be harder for you to take out a Parent Plus loan to help your child go to school. See, none of this shit has been talked about yet in the news. They've been talking about nothing but health care. But this shit, I need to see this on CNN. This will make everybody dumb. If you're not part of the elite 1%, if your parents don't have millions or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, a lot of us, black, white, yellow, orange, brown, are going to suffer. We're not going to be able to get the education we need. Somebody said drain all of your accounts and add to Bitcoin. They just denied my PLUS loan for grad school. Damn, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that happened to you. It also proposes lowering the cap for unsubsidized loans, so student loans cannot borrow as much. So not only can your parents, it's going to be harder for your parents to assist. Not only are Pell Grants going to be harder to get, and they're going to require you to take more classes, they're not going to even allow you to get unsubsidized loans at a rate that you may need them. That shit is insane, bruh. Everything these people are naming are things that help me get through college. Every last one of these loans that they are naming is something that helped me get through college. And that's why I wanted to talk about this in depth, so y'all know what's going on. So now y'all can call y'all representatives and yell not only about Medicaid and Medicare and SNAP and Social Security. Y'all need to talk about y'all fucking children's futures. Whether it's your niece, your cousin, someone you know in the neighborhood, y'all need to start calling and making those phone calls heavy. There's no way in hell any of these kids are going to have a future if they can't afford to go to school. I'm just being real. They're not going to be able to afford it. And I'm not just talking about a particular race. I'm talking about all of us. Because there are children who are white that are in trailer parks in low-income areas. There are children who are Hispanic in low-income areas. There are black students, Asian students. It's not just one group that's about to be slapped in the face. It's the whole middle class and lower class. I keep telling y'all, this shit ain't got nothing to do with race when it comes to money. It has everything to do with classism. We are all about to be smacked. Can someone see my private video out of here, please? How many damn accounts do you have? It pays. It really does cost to be a racist in this country, because only racism would have put Trump in this office, and not everybody is paying for it. Everybody is paying for it. Oh my God. Oh, everybody is paying for it. So let me see where else I'm at. So unsubsidized loans will be capped. So even if let's just say a teenager is going to school and their parents can help them, that unsubsidized loan is supposed to cover their whole semester. That's going to be capped too. Additionally, it eliminates new subsidized loans. So not only unsubsidized loans are going to be capped, it eliminates new subsidized loans for undergraduate students after July 1st, 2026. Subsidized loans are the only federal student loans that do not accrue interest while the student is enrolled in school. So they're going to be tapping that ass while they're getting an education. The interest rates on those bitches are about to go up. There's no subsidized loans. There's only unsubsidized loans, which increases on their interest rates while you're in school. On top of that, they're capping the limit you can get. This is a great bill. This bill just fucks everybody. I'm trying to laugh from crying, and I don't have kids, but I got a nephew that's about to go to college. I got cousins that are going to college. This is horrible. This is horrible for everyone. No one is going to be able to afford an education. The bill went to the House. It's now in budget. It's in committee. It has not passed the House because Republicans are not happy with the $5 trillion deficit. and they're not happy about Medicaid and Medicare, but no one has talked about student loans. No one has talked about the Parent Plus loans. No one has talked about the Pell grants. They are not talking about any of this. This is something that needs to be talked about because this is potentially your children's future. This is your children's future right here. Especially if you cannot afford to take your child to school, especially if you make less than 60K, less than 30K, and your child is bright as fuck, and maybe they didn't get all the grants they could get. Maybe they wasn't able to get all the scholarships they needed. This is going to take them out of the running. Midterms are on the way. And if your state, if your governor, if your representative voted on this bill for it to go by and it literally harmed your children, your ass better vote blue. Because that's the only way we're going to get this shit back on the floor, back reversed, adding amendments so we can get some of this shit back to us. Oh, Lachey, can I explain the loan part again? Girl, goddamn. It's a lot. Okay, here's the sum up. Here's the recap on student loans. Pell grants are going to be harder to get. You're going to have to go to school for more hours in order to get the Pell grant. Okay? On top of that, if you go to school part-time, you will not be able to get the Pell grant. Okay? There is no more subsidized loans, which means that there only is unsubsidized loans. And unsubsidized loans occurs while you're in school. So the interest rates on those unsubsidized loans occur while your child is in class. And there's a cap on unsubsidized loans. So that means your child is only going to be able to get a little bit of that money. On top of that, they're going to make it harder for Parent Plus loans to be given. So sometimes you may not even be able to get that. Okay, there are no grad plus loans in this bill. No grad plus loans. I hate it here. I hate it here. I really do. I just, ooh, oh, sorry. But that's okay, because we've got a defense and border security. You know, we got defense and border security. So, the defense spending will allocate an additional $150 billion with a significant investment in unmanned drones, including kamikaze drones, unmanned aircraft systems, drone boats, and underwater drones. Yep, we're going to have a country full of dummies with a lot of heavy, intelligent weapons that we're going to need to use. But we got border security. Provides $70 billion for border security, including $46.5 billion for barriers, $5 billion for custom and border protection facility improvements, and $4.1 billion to hire additional border control and CBF officers. I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. Nobody want to come in this fucking country anymore. They don't want to come here anymore. This is not the land of the free and the opportunity anymore. They're not gonna want to come. They're gonna stay where the fuck they at. They rather duke it out there. Nobody crossing the border anymore. Now, when it comes to the fiscal impact, tax cuts and revenue loss. The bill proposes more than $5 trillion in tax cuts, with a net cost of roughly $3.7 trillion over the next decade. So, even after this man is gone, he's still going to be siphoning money from us. Then $3.7 trillion over the next decade. Even when he's gone, we're still going to be paying. After accounting for spending reductions, tax code adjustments, the debt ceiling will increase by $4 trillion. We already got a bad tax credit. You know, our credit report for our credit report for the world is bad. We can't even borrow money. Our credit report has first time fallen with the world. Bitch, the United States has bad credit. I don't know how this is supposed to make us great again. I ain't got no clue. If y'all could tell me that, I'd be happy. I'd actually want to know. Projected deficit increase. Analysts project that the bill could add between 3.3 trillion and 5.7 trillion to the national debt through 2034. This man is leaving in 2028. Depending on the implementation of various provisions. Even if you hide for 3 or 4 years, when you come out, that shit's still going to be affecting us. Warren Buffett was smart. Warren Buffett took his money out. Warren Buffett donated majority of his money to causes because he said he can't leave the earth with it. I'm sorry, I'm talking to somebody on YouTube. Elisa, stop putting that shit in my chat. Stop putting that in my chat, please. I ain't got time to get hit. I am a black woman on this page. Thank you. I appreciate it. Legislative status. The House passage. The House of Representatives approved the budget bill by 2 votes. 2 votes. 2 Republicans. 217 and 215. So it barely made it out the House. It's stuck in committees right now. It barely made it out the House. Senate amendments. The Senate approved to amend versions calling the $4 billion in spending cuts and the $5 trillion debt ceiling increase a no-no. Committee deliberations are going on right now. The bill faced setbacks in the House Budget Committee, but advanced after modifications, including earlier implementations of Medicaid work requirements and reducing the clean energy subsidiaries. So, we got to call our representatives, y'all. That's just one part of this bill. Trump's bill is over 1,000 pages. Trump's bill is over 1,000 pages, y'all. This is only part of this bill. This is only part of his tax bill. This ain't even a whole fucking thing. This is insane. This is great. Let's go to some other news. U.S., France, and Canada threaten actions against Gaza. Okay? Canada has now flipped over. The UK is flipped. The UK, France, and Canada threaten action against Israel over Gaza. If Israel does not cease the renewed military offenses and lift its restrictions on humanitarian aid, we will take further concrete actions in response. Now, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck that actually means. Because does that mean it's going to be us against them? I'm happy they're finally speaking up. Israel has ended its 11-week blockade. And they're letting aid into Gaza as we speak. They're not letting in a lot of aid. And those 5 trucks that got entered yesterday or day before yesterday, 2 of those trucks were filled of boxes to bury people. Burial supplies. If they don't lift this blockade completely, about 14,000 babies could be gone within 48 hours. 14,000 babies. within 48 hours. And Israel is still doing strikes in Gaza. Their plan is to, like I've been saying, their plan, and there's been a report that has come out, and I'm happy that, you know, this report is out. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but a plus 72 investigation reveals Israel's systematic destruction in Gaza. So a damning new report reveals, and I got this from Democracy Now!, a damning new report reveals how Israel is systematically making Gaza unlivable. The independent news outlet Plus 72 magazine has spoken to Israeli soldiers who describe how they have been using bulldozers and explosives to intentionally flatten Gaza. They're trying to make it inhabitable, so they have no choice but to push 1 million Palestinians off of their land into another country, and then they get to switch it up, take over that land, make it whatever Trump and Benny want for their benefit. And I don't hear I don't hear Trump saying anything to Benny. I'm happy France, UK, and Canada is finally speaking. Hamas thanked Canada for finally speaking, because if you remember, Canada was on Israel's side for a good minute. Canada was on is somebody get Marcus J22 out of here. Starbucks ain't never been a part of the fucking Palestine movement. I keep telling y'all that. Leftists jumped on the bandwagon with black folks who were protesting Starbucks. Starbucks ain't never been inside of Israel. Not till the early 2000s. Let it go. Find something else to talk about. Damn. And if you're mad, I'm the one that told black folks to go back to Starbucks. Stop blaming Genty. Stop blaming everybody else. Okay? I did that shit. Proudly. I severed the leftists from my people. Now y'all can't ride on our coattails. Go find something else to do. And I don't give a fuck. Take that one to the bank. Now, I hope that there's more food and medicine and other supplies that goes into Gaza. And I really hope Israel does take France, Canada, and the UK seriously. But we also know that if they don't take them seriously, the US is damn sure on the side of Israel. So we don't know what is going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. But I know what's not a talking point right now for America is Gaza. And it's not going to be because Trump loves Benny. And Benny's going to do his bidding so they can make that beautiful resort that they wanted to, that he created during AI. Now, whoever is in Maryland, y'all need to get on y'all Governor Westmore. Y'all need to get on y'all damn governor. This man, this black man, vetoed a study for reparations in y'all state, saying that we should focus on action. How the fuck can we focus on action when we're 20 steps behind? And let me make something very clear. I know a lot of y'all YT people be like, why should y'all get reparations? We are not putting y'all in slaves, baby. Y'all ancestors burned down every fucking city, flooded every city, invaded every town that we created for black generational wealth. Y'all never gave us our 40 acres and a mule after slavery. Y'all used our bodies to create the Industrial Revolution. Y'all benefited from us picking sugarcane, rice, cotton. And y'all are still benefiting from it today. You pick up $1, there's cotton in it. We paid. Our ancestors paid. And now the wealth that we were supposed to have is gone. Banks asked us to put our money in their bank accounts. Asked our ancestors to put their money in their bank accounts. And you know what they did? They fucked up the money. They embezzled the money, which made our ancestors broke all over again. We have not got a fair shake in this fucking country since we were freed. So y'all benefit from generational white wealth. So reparations is due. Because we are the ancestors of slaves. We are the descendants of slaves. We are still 10 steps behind. Right now, there is a study out. While my brain is ticking, because ADHD is kicking in hard. While I am thinking, there has been a study that was completed by McKinsey, McKinsey, that states approximately 43% of black workers now make less than $30K than their white counterparts. We are underpaid, undervalued, disrespected, and still not treated as equal in the work area. We make 30% less a year than white workers. The gap is too big. Although black workers represent 12.9% of U.S. workforce, we only receive 9.6% of all wages earned. And bitch, I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor. You got the silver spoon. America needs to pay up. Y'all gave Jews everything they needed to take over and monopolize. Y'all gave Jews everything they needed in this country in order to be great. Y'all gave us nothing. But everybody in this country benefited off our ancestors. From the north to the south to the east to the west. Y'all all benefited from us. Whether y'all were using the cotton to make clothing, using the sugar cane to bake, using us to keep your houses clean and your jobs flowing. Let's not play stupid. The country was built off the backs of black people. The Industrial Revolution was created because of us. We provided the money, the bodies, the textiles, the cotton for y'all to have that. Don't play stupid. Out of all races in this country, we deserve reparations. Whether that's tax-free for the rest of our life or a lump fucking sum, you figure it out. But Governor Westmore, you a piece of you know what for backing that out. Is your wife white? I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Are you really a Democrat? I'm asking for a friend. Piss me off. You better shut the fuck up talking to me about playing victim. Y'all some weak ass. That's what y'all are. Y'all weak. Y'all wouldn't survive without black folks in this country. Y'all would have never made it this far without us. Without the Native Americans. Without Asians. Y'all would never survive. Y'all would have never been able to develop this country without us. Blacks and minorities. But now all the work is done. Now y'all want to get rid of everybody. Now that the work is done, y'all want to get rid of everybody. The EU is in trouble. The EU goes back to Burkina Faso and asking President Ibrahim Traoré to give them another chance to divest from the Sahel state, which is basically Mali, Nigeria, and Burkina Faso coming together and removing themselves from all other African countries and creating their own shit. France, President Emmanuel Macron said, can we just forget about the past and work together in the future? Burkina Faso said, fuck that shit. Y'all gonna suffer on your own. And they are. Approximately 44,000 jobs have been gone in France because they don't have any materials anymore. They're drying them the fuck out. France is about to go broke. Short of every other country. They're not doing colonialism, neo-colonialism anymore. They're not depending on the West anymore. Woo! Saudi Arabia, I love what y'all doing. Y'all planting 10 billion trees in the desert because we do need oxygen. So I fucks with that. Just leave a little bit of desert for the camels and, you know, for four-wheeling and stuff. But yeah, rebuild that shit. I like that. Now, I don't know, Oxford, Durham, and Toronto universities are exploring the potential of naturally occurring hydrogen as a vehicle green energy source. That is good. We need something else besides gas. Scientists say a hidden hydrogen could power the world for 170 years. Instead of us running off of gas, we can run off hydrogen. You know, I kind of like that better. On the other cap, our ice sheets are melting in Antarctica at a very high rate. The ozone layer is closing up, but our ice sheets are still running at a higher rate. Right now, global warming is at 2.9. In order for us to save those ice sheets, we have to be at 1.5. We're nowhere near that, which means that most of that ice is going to melt off and cause the oceans to warm, which can cause tornadoes, hurricanes. Have y'all ever seen The Day After Tomorrow? Y'all seen that movie, right? The Day After Tomorrow? Yeah. That's the kind of shit we looking at. Mass floodings. Snow. In places that tsunamis, in places that we're not supposed to be at. That's why we need these hydrogen cars. We need less gas. I say we need to shut down a whole year again, like we did during COVID. When we shut down during COVID, the world was able to replenish itself. Mother Earth was able to replenish herself. Japan had no fog. The little streams and lakes in Italy and Rome where these boats be going, it was blue. All the animals were able to repopulate because we set the fuck down and we let Mother Earth do what the fuck she needed to do. I wish that the world could come together and say, hey, we shut down movement for at least 6 months out of every year. Or every 2 years, we shut down. And we let the earth get a chance to reclaim so we can keep using it. That's just my thought process. Because we keep taking from her. And she's not going to be able to live much longer for the future if we don't. We don't start coming up with other ideas. Speaking of ideas, Japan has developed a universal artificial blood with extended lifespan that has no capability of matching required. So they have created artificial blood that goes with everybody's blood type, basically. This is the kind of shit I think Americans should be doing. They should be developing shit like this. Do you know how much artificial blood can help people? True blood, yeah. But just think about people who are O negative or O positive. That is a rare blood. What if nobody around y'all has that blood type? This artificial blood could help. Hey, I ain't mad at it. People in Taiwan are dodging the draft. If y'all don't know, Taiwan and China have got a little thing going on. China started doing, what is it? Army drills around the island. Taiwan is their own government. They're a self-governed island. And so now Taiwan has been trying to ramp up its army in case of an invasion. And come to find out, celebrities are dodging that draft, coming up with fake medical paperwork saying that they cannot go in. About 1,300 people have already dodged the draft, but now they're getting pulled in left and right. Hey, they ain't got shit to do with me. Just don't start drafting over here. That's all the fuck I got to say. Okay, now this is sad. This is sad. I'm just gonna put that disclaimer on here. Reports are circulating in India. Reports are circulating in. Need to get it out. Okay. Reports are circulating that Indian authorities expelled Rohingya refugees by putting them on a boat going out to the middle of the ocean and kicking them off the boat with life jackets. This included women and children. Women and children. The UN is calling for an investigation into reports that the Indian authorities in New Delhi rounded up dozens of Rohingya refugees, including children, then took them to a ship in the Andaman Sea, where they pushed them into the water, open water, near Burma's coast, with nothing but life jackets. Their whereabouts are unknown. They can't find them. This comes as a crackdown on Muslim minorities across India because of tensions with Pakistan. Y'all remember when Pakistan and India was going at it? This is why. This is the result of it. That is some cruel shit right there. They can't find those people. They can't find them. That is cruel. That's some cruel shit. Like, you just dumped. That's some cruel shit. Like, you, bruh, I can't. This world is savage. These are children and parents and mothers, all because they're Muslim. All because they were Muslim. Ain't no telling what happened to them in that sea. Ain't no telling what happens to that sea. I don't know who signs up to do that shit, but they were following orders, I guess. So, because of Medicare and Medicaid cuts, about 742 rural hospitals will be closed because they won't be receiving reimbursements for Medicaid and Medicare. If they cut Medicaid and Medicare, approximately, or at least 742 rural hospitals across the United States will be cut. Yes, 700. Y'all got to think, these rural areas, they only have like one hospital. They only have one working hospital in rural areas. I don't see the ones that are listed, but they're shutting down. And this could, if you have to travel further for bleed out or anything like that, you're not making it to the hospital. Heart attacks, giving birth, you're not making it to the hospital if it's in a whole nother county or a whole nother rural area or a whole nother city, a major city. This is what Medicaid and Medicare helps with. This is what Medicaid and Medicare helps with. 742 rural hospitals will have to shut down because they will not be able to afford to stay open. But hey, we're getting defense weapons. And we're not getting any education. Fuck the health care. Fuck the elderly. We're getting weapons and a border. Speaking of cryptic, crooked ass politicians, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy sold stocks 2 days before Trump announced a plan on reciprocal tariffs. 2 days before he announced them, he sold his stocks in almost 3 dozen companies, according to ProPublica. In 3 dozen companies. That is definitely insider trading. He knew something that we did not know. 2 days before Donald Trump announced dramatic plans for reciprocal tariffs on foreign imports, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy sold stock in almost 3 dozen companies. 12, 24, 36, 32 companies. 32 companies. That man was moving. According to records reviewed by ProPublica, the February 11th sales occurred near the stock market's historic peak, just before it began to slide amid concerns about Trump's tariffs plans. Sean Duffy sold between 75,000 and 600,000 of stock 2 days before Trump announced February 13th announcement, and up to 50,000 more that day the disclosures show. Duffy has presented himself as one of the most intellectual forefathers of Trump's trade agenda. So he's calling the shots. He's calling the shots. Duffy has presented a congressman in 2019. Duffy introduced a bill he named the United States Reciprocal Trade Act. He's the one responsible for this tariff war. He is responsible for this tariff war. He proposed the United States Reciprocal Trade Act. The proposed legislation, which did not pass, in many ways mirrors Trump's reciprocal tariff plan now. Trades by government officials informed by non-public information learned in the course of their official duties could violate the Stop Trade on Congressional Knowledge or STOCK Act. But no case has ever been brought under the law, and some legal experts have doubts that it would hold up in scrutiny from courts because Senator Majority Leader Mike Johnson said he feels bad for representatives and governors because their money has been cut short in the past couple of years. So he sympathizes with them because they need to trade stocks in order to survive, in order to have people drive them to work, in order to stay in big ass houses, in order to go on breaks 24/7. You know how many recesses they have? And they still get paid? They're saying that as a part of retirement account, it's not managed directly by the Secretary of State. The Secretary strongly supports the president's tariff policy, but he isn't part of the administration's decisions on tariff levels. Pam Bodie ain't answered either. I don't know. So the EU is following behind the Washington, D.C. The EU has lifted sanctions on Syria as well. So not only has the United States done it, the EU has as well. The man that was the head of a terrorist organization is now president and has been responsible for unaliving many of our soldiers. And now he's a good guy because he overthrew the last president. He's a good guy now. And they're lifting sanctions on them. And, you know, he's going to build a big, beautiful Trump Tower for Trump. We just watching shit happen. We just watching stuff happen. Isn't it great? Isn't it great to just watch this shit just go to crumbles? The Pope is in trouble. I just have to throw that one in there. The Pope is in trouble. He's facing a little backlash. Yep, already. A Chicago priest who was accused of essaying at least 13 children has made a bombshell claim against the new Pope. Robert Prevost, now named Pope Leo, has been accused of turning a blind eye to the church's SA scandal in Chicago when he served as the head of the Midwest province of the Catholic churches in Augustine order. Now, former priest James M. Ray also claims Prevost signed off on his move to Hyde Park Monastery near a Catholic elementary school. So this man essayed 13 kids and you moved him to Near a school? Okay, he's not one of ours anymore. Y'all can have him. Y'all can have him. Y'all can have him. Okay, y'all can have him. Okay, despite the fact that Ray had already been accused of abusing children, the priest is on a archdiocese list of accused SA offenders. However, they ultimately let him stay for 2 years at St. Johnstone Friary, which is less than 1 block away from St. Thomas the Apostle Elementary School and across from the Children Care Center. The school was never notified that Ray was there, who has never been convicted of any crime and is not included in any government SA offender registries that was moving into the area. And there is no indication that the Child Care Center was notified either. I'm Catholic, so I'm not surprised. Catholic churches do cover up a lot of shit that priests do, including nuns. Let's not forget the nuns. They do cover up a lot of shit, and they do. You're forgiven. Say 5 Hail Marys, and two Our Fathers, and go repent. Do a 5-day fasting. Yeah, that kind of shit. That's why I'm not Catholic anymore. Aloha. That's why I'm not Catholic anymore. That is why I'm not Catholic anymore. Because of shit like that. Well, one last thing. ICE may have violated another court order. You remember when the Supreme Court said that Trump could deport migrants, but they had to give them a chance to stand before court and plead their case? Well, ICE decided to grab 12 migrants and ship them to Sudan. That is going through a genocide and a war right now. You ship them to a country where all hell is breaking loose, and you did not give them due process. You did not give them due process. So we're going to see what the courts do, because the Supreme Court said this. They must get due process. Yes, and they were all Asians. Why you didn't send them to an Asian country? I'm hoping the Supreme Court holds the Trump administration at fault, because that is some bullshit. They need to be brought back ASAP. They need to be brought back ASAP. They are not safe in that country. They are not safe in that country. Oh, I don't think China would have took anybody back, to be honest. Let's be real. China is not fucking with us right now. They wouldn't take anybody back. They better start doing something. Because this shit is out of hand. Well, that's all I got for y'all today. Tomorrow, there will be no recap because my nephew is graduating, but I will bottle everything up on Friday from today and tomorrow, okay? No recap video tomorrow. It's family time for me. And there won't be a recap video on Monday because it's Memorial Day weekend, and a bitch will be out of town spending some quality time with her man. Please, y'all, I am begging y'all to go to my video, like, comment, share, and repost, and do not use emojis. Use 5 words or more. This is the only way I can continue to do these videos. It's the only way I can continue to go live. If TikTok does not see this video as valuable on my page, they will strike me every time I post one, which means I'm not going live. This, what I do, replaces me having a second job. I file taxes in this bitch. So if y'all want the information, thank you. If y'all want this information, I need y'all to do y'all part. I don't want y'all to pay me. I just want y'all to like, comment, and repost my goddamn video. Don't spend no money in this goddamn room. I don't need it. Let TikTok pay me, not y'all. That's a waste of money. Okay? I will see y'all Friday. Have a good day, peoples. Bye. I'm about to eat my sandwich. I'm hungry. Why does it never let me close off? It never wants me to exit. Y'all, this is... It won't let me shut it off. Bye, YouTube land. I'll see y'all Friday.